Grace is back after surviving the night with the in-laws. However, this time she goes to the next level, where it's not just one family, but 4. And she's not alone. Now her estranged sister is tagging along and complaining. Constantly. It's the bloodbath over-the-top sequel to the surprise hit of 2019, but now with all of the exposition and convoluted lore in Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. Hello there, you loose units, and welcome back to another episode of Spicy Boy Reviews. I'm, of course, your host, Andrew Iles. That's right, the sequel, Ready or Not 2, Here I Come, directed by Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillette, who both directed the first film, along with Scream 5, Scream 6, and Abigail. We meet back up with Grace straight after the events of the first film, who is rushed to hospital so her injuries can be taken care of and is left in police custody, due to the overwhelming evidence that she is wearing. Being guilty of massacring a huge, wealthy, influential family, I'm sure her alibi of kill or be killed night of survival will totally go down well. As she is questioned by the police, her estranged sister Faith shows up as she is her emergency contact. This is the first of many scenes where the both sisters are bickering and fighting, and it never gets old. However, it's not long before a jacked up billionaire storms into the hospital and begins slaughtering people to get to Grace. This is when the sisters are both whisked away to an isolated resort, where Grace can play level 2 of the live-action gory video game of hide and seek. We discover that the deletion of the Le Dumas family from the first film upset the balance of a huge, influential satanic cult that runs the world. You know, exactly like it is in real life. With some exposition dumping, we learn that the head of one super rich family sits on what's called the high seat, which gives this individual and the family ultimate power to literally run the world. And up until now, it has been ran by the head of the Danforth family, David Cronenberg. But now the seat is up for grabs, the first time in many years. So the other lasting wealthy 3 families get a chance to fight to obtain the high seat. Stakes! And how do they do this exactly? By deleting Grace before sunrise on the resort. And her sister Faith as well, because she's there. Daddy Danforth chooses his 2 children to represent the family in this hunting party. His daughter Ursula and his son Titus, played by 90s slasher kids Sarah Michelle Gellar and Sean Hattersey. Seeing these 2 hunt and be evil on screen is almost like an alternate reality of what would have happened to the brother and sister characters from Cruel Intentions. Of course, then we meet all of the over-the-top caricatures of diversity all sort families from around the globe. Now the stage is set and the hunt is on. Then we get exactly what you would expect from a Ready or Not sequel. Over-the-top, gory galore cartoonish kills, quirky off-kilter comedy that sometimes lands, and a lot of rich arseholes fumbling the ball and are terrible at killing. The film goes down the John Wick saga route, where the first film was a surprise success, so why not make a sequel to cash in? And like the John Wick films, they deepen the lore here, up the stakes, and dial everything up to 11. We get more rules, more convoluted plot and stakes, and more potty mouth than you can poke a fucking stick at. As aforementioned, it is exactly what you would expect, and this style of film has now become a genre in itself, where a killer or a group of douchebags underestimate the ability of a final girl who fights back and blows them all away. The film is fun, albeit very silly, but not as good as the first one, unfortunately. The first one was simple and streamlined, but here we get all of the story and all of the stakes. And the sisters' constant bickering on screen becomes really tiresome pretty quickly, not gonna lie. Like, yes, you had a falling out in the past, and you have to argue about it every step of the way. But there are people around the corner literally trying to kill you. Even though all these families have apparently been training for this their whole lives and absolutely love violence, but they have the accuracy and the skill set of a stormtrooper. And the movie does that thing where someone gets the absolute living shit kicked out of them and probably should die most likely due to internal bleeding, but an hour later they are up and about and totally fine with a little scratch on their cheek. In all honesty, it was really good to see Sarah Michelle Gellar on screen again. She's always had that it factor and has not diminished over time. And the girl still looks damn good too. And Sean Hattersley really dials up the menace and absolutely kills it as a piece of shit. Samara Weaving and Catherine Newton are fine. They're experts at this quirky off-kilter horror by now, and are quickly becoming horror alumni before our very eyes. However, as aforementioned, I found the bickering really grinding and annoying throughout the movie. And in all honesty, these two were not the most entertaining characters in the film. I mean, they're great in it, no doubt about it, but I was more interested in the other characters. Especially Nestor Carbonell's character. Super entertaining. However, the best character in the film, without a doubt, is the straight-down-the-line lawyer character played by Elijah Wood. He plays his character with the utmost honesty, care and respect for the film's rules and law, being our main exposition dumper. What I loved most about this character is that he wasn't fazed by what anyone else did, albeit absolutely horrendous. He was fine with it as long as they were abiding by the rules. All in all, this movie is absolutely fine. It's silly, convoluted, over the top, and absolutely batshit crazy. Anyway guys, that's my cheeky little review of Ready or Not 2. Write down below if you've seen it, what are your thoughts on it, but more importantly, what is your favourite movie in this kind of genre of final girl going up against the odds? And of course, if you made it this far into the episode, please give me a thumbs up because your love and support keeps me going, because I just love movies and I assume you do as well. And of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe icon because I give out an episode weekly. And I'll see you back here next week for the next review, but until then, stay spooky, kids.